Hello there, welcome you, Gaspar here, and today I have something from PTS which I was advised not to get because, well, people don't like them very much, but it is the Masada GBBACR project. It comes with a little thank you note from PTS themselves, manual, simple instruction manual, shows you how to go around the gun superficially. Comes with a not very efficient speed loader, and you're much better off using a standard speed loader than this. Comes with an German rod and the hop up and front sight elevation adjustment tools. So that's all that comes in the box, nothing special, just styrofoam box. And now let's see the gun, let's see the reason why you guys are here. The gun itself. Alright, so before we talk about the airsoft version, let's talk a little bit about this gun. This gun is a very interesting gun. It was thought with something different in mind. This gun was supposed to replace the AR-15 in the army, and the idea behind it was modularity. This gun was kind of designed by Magpul, which gives the Magpul style look that you can see on this gun, and the idea was that you could change things in this gun very quickly, change caliber, change barrel length, change stock. So this gun is very easy to take apart. So you have few pins that you take it off, you can change the handguard, you have a quick disassemble of the barrel that you can just take it off, you have a quickly disassemble of the lower. But this gun basically died when there was a mass shooting involving this gun, so it got a bad reputation, and this basically killed this gun, and this is why you don't see much of them anymore. So without further ado, let's dive right into this review. Okay, so manual of arms on this gun. Mag release, as we all start, is on the right and left hand side. This gun is very ambidextrous, as you guys gonna see soon enough. So the selector switch is a standard M4 style selector switch. To the front is safe, you flip it up, semi-automatic, a little back, fully automatic. And like I said, ambidextrous, this selector is on both sides of the gun. You can switch the charging handle, you just have to put a little tool on this little hole on the top, and you can take off the charging handle and put it to whatever side you want, whichever makes it easier for you. And this gun solves the problem of the scar, so this charging handle is not reciprocating, so you won't have it hitting your thumb whenever you shoot. So you can not worry and leave it to the side that you want. The stock on this gun is foldable. You press this button on the back and this hinges holds it in place by tension, so you don't have anything catching it, but it will not go anywhere. You can shake it and it won't go anywhere. It's just firmly locked in place, and since it's just a hinge, you just pull it back to lock it back to this original position. It's adjustable for length. You push a button on both sides of the stock and you can adjust to 6 positions, and you can even adjust the cheek rest. You can pull it back, flip it up, pull it up, and then push forward again, and you have a little higher cheek weld for you. And you cannot change this if your stock's completely collapsed, because it needs a little bit of space back so that you can adjust. This gun locks open on an empty mag, and the release is on the right and left hand side. Like I said, once again, ambidextrous, and you can use this catch to lock the gun open. So you pull the charging handle back and then push up the bolt catch that will leave your bolt open. So then you can adjust by using the provided hop-up key that every KWA has. You have this right here, and you just pull it there and you can adjust for more or less hop-up. The sights on this gun, the front sight on this gun is integrated to the rail. Not surprisingly, the rear sight is a Magpul style with 2 apertures that you can choose from. This is the sight picture you get with this gun, with the larger aperture and the smaller aperture. And you can adjust the elevation of the front post with this tool that was provided on the box. You just press it and turn. And the rear sight is adjustable for windage. The speed loader that comes with this gun is pretty pointless, because as I'm going to show you guys, you have to use a speed loader to load your speed loader. So that's, I mean, defeats the point, right? And you can just load it directly on the lips, no problem whatsoever. So, but it is provided, so here it is. For those wondering, this gun is completely compatible with KWA standard Stanag mags. So if you already have KWA mags, you can buy this gun and they will fit and feed and lock open properly. So Crono with this gun with 0.2 gram BBs, you get around 360 FPS, which is fairly good for a CQB and mid-range gun. And this gun has a fairly accurate range for the FPS, so it's pretty good, very nice. Okay, so these rails that I put on the gun, everybody seems to ask me, how did you put the rails on guns? I do this with most of my guns, and I'm gonna show you guys right here how to do it. It's fairly simple. You just need a screw, a washer, and I forgot the name of the other part. The thing that you put on the screw, I forgot the name of that. Screw, washer. Honestly, no jokes aside, I could not, for the love of God, remember nuts. It's simple as that. I just take some random rail and put it on whatever gun that has holes on the handguard. So to take off the barrel, you have this little lever right here, and you push a button and just put to the side, and you have out your barrel. So if you have a shorter barrel that you want to just switch, it's fairly easy. And from here you can adjust your hop up. Do not turn it all the way right, because if you do, it will not fit. Okay, so taking another pin from the back, you open it just like an M4, and on the front you separate the upper from the lower receiver. Right here on the back you have another pin that you can take it out with a little bit of love, and this allows you to take off the stock of this gun. And here I'm gonna show you guys, as you can see, the bolt's not coming off, and it was kind of a problem that I had with this gun. But if you push the spring and turn it to a certain position, the return spring comes off, and we still need to get the bolt out, and I'm gonna show you how to do it just a minute when I push this back. Before that, I need to show you a little problem that I had with this gun. To show you the problem, we need to take off the charging handle, which will allow us to take off this part right here where the charging handle locks in, and the part where it locks on to the bolt and doesn't allow the bolt to get out of the gun. So I had a problem with this gun right out of the box that people who follow me on Instagram, and by the way, my Instagram account was deleted, so I'm gonna leave the link down below that you can follow me again. So here's what I showed in my Instagram account. Right when I first got this gun, this was happening. Like I said, this gun is non-reciprocating, but yeah, in this case it was kind of reciprocating where it was not supposed to, and since this is not supposed to happen, the gun is not prepared to not eject your charging handle. As you can see, firmly locked in place, and I can just shoot it again every time this would happen. I don't know exactly why, if this is a common thing to happen on this gun, on this model, but it happened to me and I had to kind of find a solution to that. So as you can see, whatever side you put it on, it doesn't matter. So the problem is on this hook right here. I believe that this wasn't going high enough to release the bolt and let it travel freely. As you can see, here's where it catches the bolt. So this charging handle is supposed to work like a forward assist. If your gun jams, you can just pull it back, lock this hook in place, and just jam it in, just like a standard M4-ish. So my problem, well, how I solved it, is just I literally just fold a little piece of paper to make this bump right here that's supposed to unlock the hook a little bit easier to get out of the way, and it worked perfectly. Since this is just a little piece of paper, it's probably not gonna last long, and it didn't, and I just substituted it for a little piece of plastic. So this gives the hook a height good enough for clearance when the bolt is traveling. So to put it back, you just put the part with the hook backwards and slide it back in place. Fairly simple to do. Install the charging handle once again. Hopefully you will never go flying out again, and it didn't. So like I said here, make sure that your hop-up's not all the way to the left. Now click in place, lock it, flip it forward, and the gun is back. Here I'm gonna be able to show you why the bolt was not coming off. As you can see right here, it's traveling freely, but if I push a little bit back, you see that it locks in place. This is how the forward assist works on this gun, and also the non-reciprocating charging handle. If it's out of battery, it locks, but if it's in battery, it just slides freely. So like I said, you need to push the recover spring forward to get to a certain position to take it out, and to put it back in is the same thing. You just put in the correct position, which is with this part right here upwards, so that it fits properly on your lower receiver, just like this. So if you have a doubt, just test this, and you're gonna see that it goes upward. Alright, so reassembling this gun, you just put the handguard back in place, just like that, and push the pin with, like I said, a little bit of love. This gun's brand new, it needs some breaking in, period. So before we reassemble the rest of the gun, I want to assess some issues that I had on the lower receiver. So right out of the gate, this gun had a little bit of a problem, because the selector switch on this gun, it's very heavy, and the mag release, as you can see, it's kind of locking out of the way. If I use the left hand, like you can see right here, it gets locked out of position. And this issue broke my mag labs within 2 days of playing with it. So that's an issue that we gotta solve. Also, the selector switch is a bit stiff, so to go it easier, I'm gonna open up the lower receiver and check for whatever is messing with this, and I probably have an idea already. You have a little tab on the sear that you can pull up to allow you to go through safe and leave the selector downwards. With that, you have a little hole that you can use a tool to help you to take out the left side of the selector switch, and it comes out just like that. It has a little tab that prevents you from taking it out anywhere else. And to completely take it out, you gotta push forward on the auto sear, and this will allow the left side of the selector to come out. From the right side, it's just the same thing. It took me a little while to figure that out, but the same position downwards, you just add that little bit of love and it comes out to the right side. After that, the trigger box with all the controls just squeeze out. Is a little bit hard to take it out. I thought it was locked in by some other thing, but it was just a little, the angle was off for me to take that out. And now to take out the mag release, you just have to press it out of the way. So basically, the testing here, the idea of this was to shave a little bit of material off the hole which the selector switch went in, and it was fairly successful. That allows it a lot more of free movement by the part, and basically the right side was the worst, just to not be that stiff. And on the mag release was the same thing. I just filed a little bit of the hole off just to help it move a little more freely, and the problem was solved. So to put it back in, what I recommend is just put the metal part before, and then you just push the mag catch a little outward, and you can put the plastic, which is the button, in. And it was so much easier after I figured that out. You can put the trigger box back in the lower receiver of the gun, and to mount back the selector switch, you can put the right side facing downwards first, and then you put the left side with the right side facing downwards. But to put the left side in, you will have to push on the disconnector once again to allow it to go in, and you will be able to put the whole gun back in and turn the selector back to safe, and the gun is completely ready. Just a further notice that I still wasn't very satisfied with the results that I got from this part on the selector switch. The mag was just okay, but from the selector switch I was not happy, and I went back in. But now this time I took a drill, and and just shaved off a little bit of the holes where the selector had trouble flipping through. So there's probably a pin in there that selects and give that crisp click, but in this case was too much, and I just shaved that down a little bit, and it was way better. Not good, but it was much better. On the gun you can put back the stock, and we can finish reassembling this. This little part right here will fall every time you disassemble your gun. I don't know, maybe it works, but you have to take, every time you open this in the field, be aware of this little part right here, because it falls off. You don't have to be that rude with the part, this just falls off. Just engage the front part and the back part, and your gun is completely back in place after all that trouble. We got it working correctly. So I had a little bit of trouble with this gun on the very first game that I took it, and I honestly, like I said, if you didn't watch the game, you can watch the card, is probably somewhere, and the link is in the description. But I had the KWA infamous double feed, and yeah, that kind of ruined the gun for a little bit right there. But I had old magazines, I used old Stanag magazines that I had, so I attribute 100% of the problem on that. So my gun was basically useless in that game, but I don't know why I still like it, why I'm still trying, and why I'm still doing things. But basically what happened is that the double feed kind of ruined my bucking, and now I have to figure out how to open it to change it. Because the second game that I took this gun unadvised after fixing the mags, is this gun was like shooting one BB well far and the other BB just fall very close, and this was because the BB was rolling on the barrel. So basically, to fix the mag, I took off the lip of the magazine. This works on a PTS magazine as well, the PMag one. So just take a pair of pliers, hold pressure on this point right here, and use a heat gun pistol to soften the plastic just a little bit so it closes a little more, and it won't double feed once again. But once you do this, this part will not go all the way up again. So if you want the gun to lock open, this has to go all the way up. So I had to file a little bit on the side of it, just until this kind of got the curve of the now lip that I modified. So I had to file a little bit, and just to the point that I made sure that it was freely going upwards, and it would lock open my mags, because otherwise it will not. So if you close the lips, make sure to check if your follower is going all the way up. So this is basically the fix. I found it online. There's a little more things that you can do, but with my hardware limitation, this is as far as I got, and by my tests it worked. Like I said, I went to another game, but in the other game I had another nice surprise. The BB was not fairly consistent. So inspecting at home, I figured out that the bucking was kind of shredded. I had to figure out now how to open this gun. After trying, and a lot of trying, I figured out that I was right, but it's very hard to take off this metal ring that you have locking the barrel locking lever in place. After that, you got another 2 screws, one on each side, and that unlocks your barrel with the hop up and everything. You have a little metal clamp here that's locking more things, so you can slide this off. Then you have a plastic clamp locking part of the barrel, and you have another metal clamp right under the hop up before the bucking, and this is a pain in the ass as well to do. And you have the pathetic little copper arm that just does the adjustment on KWA guns. I mean, this is just the worst design that I have ever seen, and I honestly think that they could do better. just this little fragile copper arm to adjust your hop-up. So after another metal clamp right here, that it is a pain to take off, you can lower this metal sleeve and you have your bucket. Yeah, all the trouble just to change this. And luckily for me, as owner of 5 KWA crease vectors, I have this KWA nub. Yes, this is the same nub that you use on the M4 and the same nub that you would use on a crease vector. And I just wanted to flex that I got 5 crease vectors. I know the Crytek just came out, but I don't care. I always wanted, and I never overpaid for any of my vectors, so yay! Okay, so now change the buck back. You have to put all those metal clamps back. You have to put that copper thing that adjusts the hop up back. And it turns out that the problem was this arm, because probably the BBs that went in bent this little arm, and I didn't notice while I was doing this. But then I went all the way back, that it was hell, and re-bent to the correct position this copper arm, and then the gun was very good. So after that I had another game with this gun. To be fair, this is another game that I was playing with 11 pistols, all of my collection, almost all of my collection, and all my ammo went out and I got another friend's pistol, but I still had to play with another rifle. And I took this just in such an occasion, and it was the best. This gun worked flawlessly. I used the original magazine, I changed the lip, and this gun worked flawlessly. And it was very good, it was very accurate. And now I feel like we're gonna get to pros and cons on this. So let's get to the good bits. First thing is, this gun is very solid. This is a very solid gun. It doesn't wiggle. It has a very good construction. Does not have any part that wobbles, and it is heavy, just like I like it. And the magazine is also heavy, which adds to the heavy weight of the gun. And this is, for me, is just the best. This gun has a great FPS, not too hot to play on CQBs, and not too low that you wouldn't be able on an outdoor field. So very good. This gun is also very modular. In the first game that I had problems with this gun, I disassembled it to the most part to fix the issues that it was having, and it was fairly easy because it just pins. Like I said right on the beginning of the video, this gun is very ambidextrous, so you have all the controls on both sides and you can change the charging handle to both sides. This gun is fairly consistent with locking the bolt back, and this is a very plus. This is the first thing that I try with every gun that I get. The first thing that I try is lock open, and this gun is very consistent in that matter. So this gun had the issue of double feed, but I do not attribute the problem to the gun itself. I attribute to the old magazines that I had. These have the lever flying off on me, and this was not very good because, well, if it was in game, I would be lost. If just something went flying off the gun, I wouldn't notice what it was. And this gun has a very hard bucking to get to and hop up, so I hate that little metal ring that holds everything in place because it's very hard to take it off. And also I had a problem with the mag release and the selector that were very stiff, but after all, I gotta say, it seems like this video is sponsored, but it is not. I honestly like this gun. I cannot tell you why. I cannot figure out. I've been thinking about it the last days, and I don't know why I'm so involved in giving this gun a good review. Honest to God, this is not a sponsored video. KWA has no idea who I am. Also, PTS have no idea who I am. And I don't know. I really like this gun. Don't know why. Can't explain it. But it is a great gun for me. After the trouble that I had because of old magazines that I had, this gun worked flawlessly. If I had bought this with brand new mags, I know that I would have only good things to talk about here. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe. Hope I can catch you on the next one. See you around.